Today we will talk about the best opening in chess, the Carokann defense. Why Carokann is great opening. First, it's a solid opening that will allow you to play more secure as black, and white can't be much aggressive with you, so even if your opponent have a rating way much higher than you can hold your own in first game stage. Let's start with e4 and c6. The white most common response is d4 for controlling the center, and we try to do that as well with d5. Notice how we have already 2 pawns on light square, so a good thing is to develop first the light square bishop. Otherwise, it will not be in good square on b7 or a6 because of the d5 pawn that block line. Let's talk first with the advanced variation. When white push the pawn on e5 square, we notice that both have a solid position and chain. We notice how doing e6 before develop the bishop, it's not great move at all because that bishop will be blocked. So a good move can be develop the bishop on f5, so it have more square to control, and you can close the position with e6, and you have a very solid structure to be safe for being attacked by white. In the Carokann openings, we need to understand that our plan is to push the c6 pawn on c5 because we have more space and attack on queen side. So push the pawn on a6, do b5, place the rook on c8, and else is very good, especially in middle game and final stage of the game. White instead has more space on kingside, so beware of f4. Do also g6 for controlling f5 square as well, and block some initiative from white. Now let's talk about exchange variation. There is no much more to explain in the exchange variation because the position will turn pretty much equal to both, and planes like developing piece and castle are a lot important. So, before you take initiative, for example, attacking a square or a piece, you need to always have your king safe, and if the opponent doesn't have castle yet, you need to open the center and punish his mistake. And now let's talk about the classical or normal variation. In this position, the best move for the black is to take on e4 with d5. In this way, we open the d column for black, and we make the white moving that knight more. Also after that, you need to exchange that powerful knight with knight on f6. So if the white will capture it, you have removed a strong piece for the white. Otherwise, the opponent will lose more time moving that knight again in a back square. So this is how both usually continue the game. And since our light square bishop can't be developed well on queen side because of light square pawns, it's always good to put it on f5 or g4. Notice how we settle a perfect middle game here for black, even with higher elo opponents. You will do good, and you can do all the planes you need.